Hey guys, Mitch here with the AudioDabbler YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Sub Bass 808 from AudioKit, just released in the App Store, special edition. Not going to be there very long, kind of a boutique kind of thing, but it will be available for a few months. I think, not for sure, but I would go ahead and grab it up because it's pretty cheap and it is awesome. And so let's dive in. Alright, so I got Bass 808, Sub Bass 808 loaded up inside of AUM, and if you bring the screen on up, you get the classic AudioKit keyboard here, and this is a classic kind of looking AudioKit synthesizer, Sub Bass, and so it's a lot of good low-end stuff, but it's not just for low-end stuff. Let me go ahead and show you a couple presets that I did that is included in DOD3. So not necessarily sub bass. Dirty Down, not necessarily sub bass. Just kind of reminds me of, actually, you know what? In the comments below, tell me what you think this kind of reminds you of. So, completely not sub bass, but this one right here, Fried Squash. Definitely some good sub bass going on and there. And so let's just kind of go through the main controls here. We've got a master volume, and first let me scroll all the way down. You got a whole bunch of presets, probably over 100. And thank you guys for including some initialized patches, because those are so helpful for sound designers and people who just want to start from scratch. I don't want to have to go through and delete 17,000 different things in a mod matrix. So please, if you make an app, just give me something that's just basic, or give me some way to initialize everything. That way I can start from scratch and really learn the app, and I don't have to spend 10-15 minutes creating my own initialized patch. That being said, they've created one for each of the basic oscillators that they have, and then a sub bass, which is using their FM modulator, FM operator. So you get your master volume here. I would take note of this guy because it can get kind of loud, especially when you get over to the super limiter on the next page. Yes, very simple interface, 2 pages, main and more here. And you can save your own presets as you design them, or you can import some, and I'm sure they'll just continue to add some more as people make them. The length is kind of interesting. So if I hit a note and I hold it, it's still going to fade out. And you're like, well, why isn't it sustaining? Well, it's an 808 bass, but they have this button over here called Super Sustain, and it will sustain. So if you want a note to sustain all the time, then just make sure you click that Super Sustain. But if you have that off, then you can adjust how long the note lasts if you're holding the note down. So if I turn this to 0.05 seconds, that's all we're going to get. But as I increase this, say right about 1 second, so it's acting like a release, but even if I hold it down, it's still going to release the note like there's no sustain built into it, unless you hit that sustain. So that's just something to keep in mind as you're designing your own patches in this thing. As far as modulation goes, this is a pitch modulation, and so I can put the depth up all the way, and as soon as I start messing with the time, you're already going to start hearing that punch. So you can bring that depth down to get it how you want it. And so already that is and so I don't have to have a bunch of 808 patches or 808 samples anymore. I have this, and it's just awesome. And completely customizable. So if there's something in the 808s that I, kind of want to adjust, I can. I can have it, I can take this time all the way up and have in 2 seconds and have some some pew stuff. Start doing some sound effects for some sci-fi movies. Then you got some glide over here. Let me turn that pitch down, or that time down. But you got glide, which is really, really cool. You can put that glide to a second. If I put the length all the way up to 808. So quick way to make some risers. So that's always good and fun. Just that glide down a little bit more. And then come to some distortion here. Turn it on. So you already need to start adjusting that master volume down a little bit. Yeah, then you got the super sustain like I talked about earlier. It's just there and sustain the note. So that could be fun. Make sure you got that super sustain on. Actually, let's go. I got my 49 keyboard here. Let's go from bottom. Alright, let me hit it. I'm on just the quick simple riser right there. Just hit record that in. You got a nice cool little riser sample. And then at the bottom here, let me turn the sustain off. You've got different algorithms for the source, some FM operators, some sawtooth, pulse, sine, square, triangle, and then back to the FM operators. And then we'll go over to the more tab, second page, 2 pages. Really nice. You got tuning. So if you want to do some crazy flutter things, it doesn't have any modulation, but I will show you here at the end. Stick around. I'll show you how you can use another app to bring in a little modulation matrix kind of thing and modulate some of these. And so let's go on to the envelope. It's just a basic envelope. So softens that attack. And then release. So I talked about earlier that the super sustain will sustain the note, and then the length, if I press a note and release it, it's going to release it, but if I hold a note, it's still only going to sustain for the length that the release is, or the length of seconds is. But if I have this release and I release a note, like tap it, and then if I touch it all the way down, See how I hit a click or tap it, it goes away instantly. Whereas if I have the release, it acts more like a release. Whenever I hit a note, when I release it, it's going to release that note out. So that's always good to be able to distinguish between, you know, why this release is doing something, the length is here, and all this stuff. Could be a little confusing if you're not used to sound design and stuff like that, but just gonna give you a heads up on that. You can crush it by all craziness. Just make it completely dirty. Mess with the filter, bring the resonance up, and then you can just smash it. And that peak limiter is really kicking in. Yeah, you can just completely just smash it. And then you have some lo-fi bit depth here. Just listen to that. That's just... So I'm going to go over here and turn that master volume down. That's just nasty. Alright, and so that is that, and that's basically the app, and you know, just have at it. But if you've stuck around this long, let me show you inside of AUM, and this will work with AudioBus or any other or 8 Matrix or anything where you have automation lanes, like if you're sequencing things in Sequence, or if you're using Cubasis, any of those things where you have automation. But I went over here to MIDI, go to Audio Unit, go down to Rosetta LFO. Now this is a LFO, and the way I like to do it is deactivate a couple of them. That way I can just easily MIDI learn. I'll come over here to MIDI Control, MIDI Source, select Rosetta as the source. Then I'm going down to Bass 808 and parameters of Bass 808, and then here's all the parameters that you can automate with Rosetta. And so I like, let's do crush. Let's maybe do the tuning. I need to have it playing first. MIDI control, channels, parameters, maybe mess with the tuning a little bit. Then we'll turn that off, turn the next one on. MIDI control, 808. I'm going to have the cutoff, and then last but not least, MIDI control, parameters. I think I'm going to do the crush off. Let's do crush rate. There we go. Now we got the rate here. Okay. You know, and I don't want the tuning to be going up that much. And so I can start. Just kind of want to modulate that tuning just a little bit. Let's bring it down. Let's have a triangle. Mod it up a little bit. If we wanted to, we can go to super sustain. can just get crazy with it. And then, you know, being inside of AUM, you're not limited. If you want to just destroy it even more, you can come over here, bring up something like the new Nimbrini Audio's overdrive. It's just filthy. Crush it. So now if I take this super sustain off, so with all the different modulations and things, you can just get as crazy and creative as you want to. And so that's the beauty of, you know, some of these apps, is just how kind of modular in nature they are. You've got a basic 808 synth here, and it doesn't have any modulation, but I can bring in LFOs and modulate it. I can throw in a overdrive effect. We're just crushing that. Crushing it. So, thanks guys for watching. Hopefully this was helpful and useful, and you found some value in it. And if you did, make sure you leave that like button, or you know, you can thumbs it down if you want to as well. I mean, likes are better, but you know, thumb it down if you really want to. And yeah, in the comments below, well, first tell me what you thought that sounded like, and then second, do you think this is going to replace a whole bunch of your 808 samples, or are you going to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to save some iPad space, I can delete a bunch of 808 samples because I have sub-bass 808 and it fills the majority of my sub-bass needs, and so I can just, you know, tailor these simply, you know, throw out a bass line and boom, I'm done. I don't have to sit there and scroll through 1,000 different 808 samples to find the one I want. I can just custom make my own really quickly. Yeah, and so thanks for watching guys, and I will talk to you guys later.